Want to record the session for us?
It's going.
All right. Well, with that, we're going to go ahead and get started. So thanks everyone for joining us today. Today's session is scheduled for about an hour. It will be less than that. So we'll have plenty of time for questions at the end as well as along the way. Again, we're talking about our online Masters in Civil Engineering, as well as some related graduate certificates related to that program. If you have a question along the way, you can use the chat feature here in Zoom. And as I had mentioned there at the start, we're also recording this session and we plan to make it available on our website afterward. Here's our agenda for today. We'll go over some introductions. We'll provide a very brief overview of Michigan Tech for those that may not be aware of Michigan Tech. We'll cover the civil online MS Civil program in greater detail. Then we'll close with a review of the application process and some next steps for those that are interested. And then we'll leave time for questions at the end. As far as introductions, our guest speakers are shown here today. So I'll start out. My name's Rick Berkey. I'm the Director for Global Campus and Continuing Education here at Michigan Tech. From our Civil, Environmental, and Geospatial Engineering Department, we've got two presenters today. Dr. Barbara Dye, she's going to help walk us through the online civil program in more detail, as well as joined today is Dr. Audra Morse. Both are faculty in Civil and Environmental. Dr. Audra Morse is also department chair. From Global Campus, in addition to myself, we've got Amanda Irwin. Amanda is our graduate admissions manager, so she's a main point of contact for students who are interested in applying to these programs. As far as others in attendance who aren't presenting today but are available for Q&A and support, we have Andrew Swartz, Associate Professor in the Civil, Environmental, and Geospatial Engineering Department. We also have Dave Watkins, Distinguished Professor in the department. And then from Global Campus, we have Shelley Gallia. She's our Marketing and Content Manager, also here today to support the call. Let's go ahead and get started then with an overview of Michigan Tech. Like I said, very briefly, just want to walk through a few fast facts and points of pride, if you will. For those that may not be aware, we were founded in 1885 as the Michigan Mining School, founded to support the local copper mining in the area at that time as a public research university here in the state of Michigan. Over those 140 years now, we're an HSTEM focused university. So HSTEM stands for Health, Science, Technology, Engineering, and Math. In addition to that HSTEM or that STEM focus, we also have a fully accredited College of Business with several undergrad and graduate programs housed in that college. Our enrollment is actually closer to about 7,400 today, so over 7,000, about 80% undergraduate, 20% graduate. We have 5 colleges with over 140 degree programs, so nearly something for everyone. And those 5 colleges are engineering, sciences and arts, computing, forest resources, and environmental science, and business. More specifically, we have 40 plus online graduate programs. So these can range from certificates, which are typically 9 to 12 credits in a focused area, master's programs. We actually have a couple PhD programs as well that are fully online, and these are all available through Global Campus. One thing I want to mention before we get into greater detail here is these online programs are exactly the same as those that you would earn attending on campus here. And the only difference really is the modality and how you participate. So as we move along here, just one other point of pride about Michigan Tech, and we'll keep it brief here, is we're designated as a military-friendly campus. There's a link here to the National Graduate Service Reduced Tuition Rate Program. So that's available to military veterans and current personnel, former AmeriCorps volunteers, and returned Peace Corps volunteers. I won't dwell on this, but just to mention, this program represents about a 30% savings to the standard graduate tuition rate. So it's a great opportunity. And again, a point of pride just with the overview of Michigan Tech here that we are a military-friendly campus and proud of that. So At this time, I will turn it over to Dr. Barbara Dye, and she's going to walk us through the online MS in civil engineering in greater detail. Barbara?
Yes. Yeah, I will talk about the online civil master program. At Mission Tech, our department offer online MS civil engineering degree with focus of the structural engineering and water resource engineering. So for structural engineering, through this degree, you can explore the structural loadings and their impact on structure design. And you also can apply advanced analysis and design techniques, and evaluate sustainability and resilience of infrastructures. For water resource engineering, and through this degree, you can design water systems and soil systems, and you can predict the flooding events and restore the rivers to their natural conditions. Next slide, please. Why you earn this MS online degree? So there are 4 key points that can benefit you and to earn this degree. First is open new doors. That means this degree can provide you some new opportunities in terms of your career options and industry and some specialization. And also the second one, it can position you for some leadership. So the degree will help you and to prepare the leadership roles and also help you to grow into management or senior positions. The third one is to boost your earning potential. So that is more emphasized on the financial rewards. Through this degree, you can earn higher salary. The last one is to prepare you for this professional engineering or structural engineering licenses. So through this degree, you will learn some engineering knowledge and to prepare you for this license, and also advance your knowledge in this field. Next slide, please. Yeah, so for the career trends in structural engineering, we listed 3 of them. So, with the MS degree, and you can meet the national and international demand. So, for all the structural engineering firms, they are seeking engineers, and normally require the skills come from completing a master degree. Master degree and is also as an entry level requirement for medium and high-rise building design. So with this graduate level degree, and this can be the minimum credentials for working on the complex projects in your future industry career. And the third one is the technical skill is in demand. So this graduate level technical skills, such as nonlinear analysis, performance-based design, and finite element analysis, these are high sought skills by the industry. And this specialized knowledge is also needed for this for the modern engineering challenges. Next slide, please. So for the MIC program in structural engineering, and that requires 30 credits coursework. So our structure online program offers 10 courses at graduate level focused on structural engineering. The student needs some backgrounds in statics, mechanics, material, or basic structure analysis, such as CE 3202 or equivalent class. This degree need at least 18 credits of 5,000 level or higher graduate level class. There is one required class is CE 5730. It's probabilistic analysis and reliability. It is required for all the online students. And for student, if you don't have a accredited bachelor engineering, civil engineering degree, and you need to check with the faculty advisor and ask us and for the course prerequisite. Next slide, please. Structural engineering course options for this MIC degree, and so we offer about 4 courses in fall and spring and summer semesters. Around this, so you can have the options to build your own course degree plan, and to with this offered options. Just remember that we have 1 required class and is offered in the fall semester. The other related class, you can choose on your own individual base, and you can talk with the faculty or the advisor and also me and for your course option selections. Next slide, please. So in addition to the MS degree, we also have graduate certificates. We have 5 graduate certificates in structural engineering. All these certificates need a CE 3202 or equivalent class as a structural analysis, fundamental structural analysis course. So this list the 5 graduate certificates and all require 9 credits, including certificates on advanced analysis, building design, hydro analysis, bridge analysis and design, and timber building design. So on the way, you are earning your master's degree, and you can also obtain several graduate certificates. Next slide, please. So this is showing an example. So you can have several stackable certificates in addition to your MSc with structural engineering focus. Here showing that you can get the 3 certificates on advanced analysis, building design, timber design. So each certificate need 9 credits. So that counts 9 courses, and so you can have another required course listed here. So that's the 10 course plan for your MS degree. Next slide, please. Now I want to transfer to Dr. Morse to talk about the water resource MSc degree.
Thank you, Dr. Dye. And similarly, the water resources is an emphasis within the Master of Science of Civil Engineering. So as Dr. Dye suggested or showed earlier, it's 10 courses, but instead of focusing on structures, the courses will focus on water resources engineering. We prefer a background in like fluid mechanics, hydraulics, and hydrology. For us, if you happen to be an alum, that would be 3620 or equivalent. I find that other schools have other or similar courses if you have an undergraduate civil engineering degree. We ask that require that your MSCE degree has at least 18 credits of 5,000 level, which we can easily accommodate for you. And similarly, the CEE 5730 probabilistic analysis and reliability course is required by all online students. And that's because it's required for all of our on-ground students. So again, back to what Rick Berkey said earlier, what you're doing in the online space matches what you would do here on campus. And if your, say, background is not in an ABET accredited Bachelor of Science of Civil Engineering degree, we don't want you to feel left out. We have a path and a plan to help you be prepared for this online MSCE degree with an emphasis in water resources. Next slide, please. So career trends, you may have seen in the news or just looked around. There is a lot of focus on water resources engineering, and depending on the area of the country, the needs vary from everything from coastal regions to dealing with rain and floods. And so a lot of expertise is needed. This is a highly sought after if you have this knowledge, you're highly sought after by companies, very much like Dr. Dye said. And so there's opportunities to work in rural areas and urban areas and everything from restoring ecosystems to helping communities deal with their water resources planning due to changing climate conditions. Next slide, please. So this option also has several courses for you to choose from, and this would be an example of when these classes are taught. And so things from water resources, river and floodplain hydraulics, hydraulic structures. In addition to the water resources classes, there are several geospatial, they have a prefix of SU, related courses that would be beneficial to you as you pursue this degree. And we even have courses over the summer. And then again, 5730 is in the fall. Next slide, please. As similarly as the structures, there is a certificate in the water resources engineering. So maybe right now, maybe you don't think you can just jump into an MSCE online degree. But we do have an option for you to get your feet wet. Haha, yeah, bad joke. With a 9-credit graduate certificate in water resources engineering. And so you would pick 3 of the following 4 courses. So water distribution and wastewater collection, stormwater management, and LID, low impact design, I think is the name of the course, hydraulic structures, and steam restoration. So you would pick 3 of those 4 classes. Next slide, please. And I'll turn it over to Dr. Dye to talk about our accelerated process.
Yes. For the MIC online program and accelerated program, also offered for the current Michigan Tech undergraduate students and recent graduates. Through this program, normally the MIC requires 30 credits, but through this accelerated MIC program, students can double count up to 6 credits for approved undergraduate courses towards to their graduate degrees. To qualify this accelerated MIC program, students must have at least a GPA 3.0, be admitted to the graduate program before their undergraduate graduation, start the MIC program, and for the recent graduate students, you can within 2 years for following your undergraduate degree. Yeah. Next slide, please.
Awesome. Thank you, Dr. Dye and Dr. Morse, for all the program information. We're going to kind of transition now to application process and next steps. So I was briefly introduced at the beginning, but my name is Amanda Irwin. I'm the graduate admissions manager for our global campus. So I work with students through the admissions process, graduate students that are interested in pursuing their studies online. And so just kind of a couple of key things. I work with those online students all the time. In my experience, if you want to go to the next slide, Rick, some of the key reasons or benefits of the online learning that I hear back from them is the work-life balance. There's a list of them here that you can look through. I'll touch on just a couple of them. But the work-life balance and the flexibility and the scheduling is one of the key things. And so a lot of the students that are coming through the program and doing it online like that they can take classes at a part-time pace. So 1 to 2 classes a semester. It works into their schedules. A lot of times the courses are asynchronous and you can, you're not going to be late for class. You can get onto the course when it best meets your schedule needs. And so that added flexibility for the online program is one of the key things. And I'd also say that one of the things that comes up a lot too when I'm meeting with students is the advancement in your career. So you're not having to step away from your job. You can continue on in the career that you're in, move at a part-time pace, and you're working slowly towards that next step or that next goal and career advancement. And so those are some of the key benefits of online learning. With that, we just want to talk about some upcoming start dates. So if this is something that you want to do and you want to get started, our application is available right now for the upcoming spring semester, which begins January 5th, there's definitely still time for a prospective student to get an application in and have it be reviewed and get an admission decision before that time frame. And so I would encourage you to consider that. Our summer semester application is open too. We start summer semester May 5th. And then fall application just became available a couple of weeks ago. And so you could apply to the fall term as well. The application process itself is pretty straightforward. There's not an application fee for you, so it is free for you to apply. The first thing that you're going to do is go to the web address there. I think we'll share in the chat window also. But you'll first create an application account. After you create your application account, you're going to insert a new application for the program of interest. So if you're looking at the master's degree or one of the certificate programs, it'll walk you through those pages. Towards the end of the application itself, it might ask you for a couple of references, and then you'll hit submit on that application. After you've submitted your application, a admissions checklist is going to populate in your application portal, and that's where you'll upload required documents. So some of the required documents we're looking for are a copy of a resume. You can do copies of unofficial transcripts. If you're an MTU alum, we will help with getting those transcripts uploaded for you. There's references that will have to come into the system inside that checklist too. And then there's a student statement and a personal statement that you'll write and submit. And once all of those items are checked off on that required list, then you'll move over to a program review and an admission decision. Usually we get those admission decisions back within a couple of weeks for our domestic online students. So the department is really quick at getting those decisions for us. And like I said, kind of circling back to those upcoming dates, it's very possible for you to get started as soon as this spring semester that begins in January, if you'd like. Next slide. So if you require any additional information, if you've got some really specific questions about some of the program information that was covered, we've got some information here for you, a link, contact information for Dr. Dye. Be happy to answer questions for you. Additionally, I am always available as a starting point for students as well. This is a link out to my calendar. You can schedule a virtual appointment or a phone appointment with me. We can kind of talk through some initial questions that you have. It can be as detailed or pointed as you'd like. I meet with students anywhere from 5 minutes to 45 minutes usually to cover things, and we can look at costs, we can look at program requirements, all the things. So I'm happy to meet with you and go over anything that you're looking to talk about. We can talk time frame for starting and all of that. And with that, just kind of brings our presentation to a close. We want to thank you all for attending. And again, thank Dr. Dye and Dr. Morse for sharing all this really good information about the programs. And we'd like to open it up for any questions that you guys might have.
All right, yeah, any questions? I'm looking at the chat. I think Shelley's been putting some links in there for you. But yeah, it's a small enough group too. If somebody just wants to unmute and ask a question, we've got plenty of time here.
It looks like we have a question. Do we have any information on the PhD program?
Oh, I can answer this question. I think we have the online PhD program for our department, focus on civil engineering. We have several online PhD students. So I think you can apply for online PhD program. I will suggest you to talk with potential advisors to identify your research interests for this application.
Yeah, it looks like Dr. Morse has put a link in there as well on the PhD.
We have another question from, I think it's Brandon. Is there reciprocity for residents of South Dakota, or is this program out of cost for South Dakota residents?
No, we have students from everywhere, all over the country who are in our MSCE program. We do not do a cost difference for graduate students in state, out of state. It's just one cost. So we would love to have you in our graduate program. So Brandon, no one's speaking in, so I'll do it real quick and then anyone can chime in. Your question was, what are the common hurdles for working professionals that take online classes? I'll just say what we've seen for the structures and the water resources is that a lot of our students are working professionals. And so they generally take one class at a time. And we work to offer these classes very regularly throughout the year, so that you can take one class at a time. I would say that time management, I am taking one of our own classes this semester. And so I know I can speak to this as like a current student, just trying to keep up. But I think that our faculty are mindful that our students are also working professionals and work to set due dates to accommodate. And then if, you know, on those occasions you need an extension, I do think they try to help you. We're not here to punish you. We know that as a graduate student, you really are here to learn and you're pretty motivated to do that. And so we want to assist you wherever we can. But I think a lot of that just comes down to the structure of deadlines and making sure the workload is appropriate. And then not biting off more than, you know, you can do at a time when working and knowing your own work schedule. And I don't know if Dr. Dye or Dr. Watkins or Dr. Schwartz have anything to add to that.
So this is Dr. Swartz. I have quite a few online courses, and I know a lot of our other ones, they are kind of structured around kind of weekly modules. So there's usually weekly deadlines that are kind of the same from week to week that, but you can choose kind of when you're doing that work. You can do them in the evening, you can do them, try to find weekend time or whatever time really works for you, as long as you meet those weekly deadlines. And I do want to reiterate what Dr. Morse said, that one course at a time is really appropriate for our students who have, full-time jobs. Particularly, they also have family duties. Trying to do more than that has been problematic. But one is very manageable, particularly if you look at those weekly duties and talk to the faculty members if something comes up. I've got a student right now who has to deploy for 4 weeks with the Army Corps to help with rebuilding efforts in Florida because of the hurricane. And I'm like, well, yes, obviously I'm going to work with you on those deadlines so that you can do that and come back. So we're mindful that you're not full-time students, and we'll do what we can within reason.
Any other questions? I guess there's a silence there. I'm not sure if we've addressed everything, but we still have some time for those that may have a question.
There is a question in the chat box, and Amanda, can you get it? Because my dog's about to bark again.
Oh, I
Okay.
hadn't seen it pop up yet. There it is. Any plans to offer a transportation focus for the masters?
All right, let me answer this one. So I think we have, in general, MSc a master program, master degree. So yes, for transportation group, we don't have too many courses offered online at this time. If you are interested, if you want to have, while you are taking MSc online degree and to have several transportation classes, you may talk with several faculties in transportation groups. As for on-ground students, some of transportation master student, they took some structure, for example, bridge design classes and plus some transportation classes. So, yeah. But for your question is, we don't have specific MIC right now on the transportation area. But if you are interested, you may check the possible options and with some transportation faculties. Yeah.
For my bachelor's degree, I often met with instructors when I didn't understand the material. How do we meet with instructors via the online campus?
So for online courses, there's a little bit of delay usually, and that we'll if you have a question, you send an email typically, and we'll arrange office hours kind of by appointment. Everyone's got a different work schedule for when they can meet, so I meet with students pretty much every week via Zoom. Not every student every week, but there's always some students that have questions. So, we can share screens. I have a document camera. I can write equations down and draw figures, just kind of the same as if we were together. The main drawback is that kind of lag time. It's harder. You can't just like walk over to your professor's office like if you were on campus. You just need that extra little bit of planning time to set up that meeting and make it happen.
Awesome. Another question, are summer courses accelerated?
No, they are full summer term courses. The homework tends to pile up a little bit too much to do them all in 7 weeks.
I think that was the last question in the chat so far. Are there any additional questions?
Maybe I'll just add one thing related to the question about transportation. We also have a number of cognate courses, at least that we recommend for the water resources focus. And so there's a couple there that are related to transportation. So there might be some specific courses like asset management, maybe route engineering and surveying. And these are some courses that our water resources students can take. I'll mention some others like GIS and remote sensing. And then we encourage students to maybe take a policy analysis or a public management course. So there's a little more breadth there through the Cognate offerings and other departments that students can take online.
Well, I think if that wraps up the questions here, we could probably go ahead and stop our recording. Thank you guys so much for joining us today, taking the time to learn more about